Hi everyone, my name is Joshua Caldwell, and for the in-class activity that I'll be leading today, it comes from Project Learning Tree, and it is called A Few of My Favorite Things. It's just a real quick outline of what we'll be doing today. I'm going to be going over the curriculum and real quick, giving some background information on what non-renewable and renewable resources are. Then we're going to go through the activity, and then finally a quick wrap-up discussion. So this activity comes from Project Learning Tree's pre-K through 8th grade curriculum book. If you'd like to look into it some more, it's Activity 15 on page 75. The national or state standards that it covers includes social studies, science, and the visual arts. A couple of the curriculum changes that I've made to this activity, we'll get to it here in about a minute or so, but instead of using one item for this activity, we're using three per person. I'm defining ecological footprint and decomposition, as I think it's important for this specific activity, and as well as going over the reduce, reuse, recycle mantra and how that goes into some of the items that we use in our everyday life. So what is an ecological footprint? According to the Worldwide Fund for Nature, it's the impact of human activities measured in terms of the area of biologically productive land and water required to produce the goods consumed and to assimilate the wastes generated. More simply, it is the amount of the environment necessary to produce the goods and services necessary to support a particular lifestyle that we all have. So I'm sure we all know what renewable resources are, given the fact that everyone here is in a college class. However, I'm going to go over a really quick background as to what they both are, non-renewable and renewable resources. So, as I'm sure hopefully all of you guys know, a non-renewable resource is something that is finite or in limited amounts. It cannot be created, or if it can be created, it can take centuries or even millions of years for it to develop. Two examples of this come in the form of fossil fuels and metals such as copper and gold. Renewable resources, on the other hand, are the opposite. They can be replenished. They can be replenished through either anthropogenic or through humans or through natural means. A couple of examples of renewable resources can include trees, livestock, solar energy, and of course wind energy. However, there's a caveat. They need to be managed in a sustainable way. Example of this could be the passenger pigeon, where back in the 1800s and early 1900s even, there were so many passenger pigeons that we had no idea that we could hunt them until the point of population collapse. Resources such as grasslands and groundwater are also items that can be replenished to the point of no return. For this class, I thought it was also very beneficial if I went over the definition of what a sustainable yield is, just get more of a well-rounded aspect of renewable resources. So sustainable yield is the maximum rate at which people can use a renewable resource without reducing the ability of that resource to renew itself. If we had a sustainable yield for the passenger pigeon, you never know, they might still be around. So for this activity, I would like you to gather three items that you frequently use or that you often have near you or on you, and bring them to wherever you are watching this activity. These items could be a book. Maybe you often drink water from a plastic bottle. Pen, camera, cell phone, a bicycle. You might have one in your dorm or your apartment, who knows. Or maybe you like to cook, so you have a favorite pot or pan that you often love to use. I know I'm going to be. I know I always have on me a pocket knife, a cell phone, and my wallet. So if you would like to, please pause this video right now so you can go collect those three items if you don't already have them on you, before we move on to the next aspect of this activity. Alright, for the second and third part of this activity, I would like you to write down all the materials that not only comprise your objects, but also went into making them. So did they, for example, did coal have to be burned to create, maybe it's to manipulate the steel that is in, let's say you have a steel shovel or something like that next to you. For example, you can look at this table that is to the right here. This was actually brought from this activity in the Project Learning Tree curriculum book. And it breaks up into the major groups, natural resources, and the material itself used within each object. Please follow a very similar pattern of this table and write down each material or group that went in making your object. Please don't forget that if you have electronics such as your cell phone, that oftentimes there's more metal in it than just copper. Oftentimes you'll learn that there is actually a gold chip or some other gold items within most of your electronics. So please just pause this video, this activity right now, so that you can investigate what all went into making your item and what your item is comprised of. Once you spend some time looking into what has made your item and writing them down, now I want you to take two different colored highlighters and highlight whether the resource is renewable or non-renewable. And please create a legend telling which color represents renewable and which one represents non-renewable resources. Now that you've highlighted all of those resources and if they're renewable or not, now I want you to think about and write down which materials can be recycled and which ones can be reused. Now, keep in mind that there are mixed materials within some items that render it impossible to recycle efficiently. Also keep in mind what type of, or what the material is made out of. I've added this table, it's kind of a figure, to the right explaining the 7 different types of plastics. Most municipalities or regions that I've been to only recycle type 1 and type 2 plastic. Types 3 through 7 typically aren't recyclable due to how the plastic is made. Some regions don't recycle glass anymore. Where I live in Utah, there is no glass recycling anymore. And it was a very similar situation in Ohio and Pennsylvania based off of people I've talked to. Copper is really big in recycling. A lot of people like to go to metal junkyards, but large, massive recycling centers with truckloads of different coppers and aluminums. So if you want to write down which ones can be recycled and which ones can't, you're more than welcome to pause this video real quick, and we're going to get on to the next aspect of this activity, which is I'm asking you a quick question. Can you reuse your item or repurpose it for a different objective? Can you reuse it for decor, refurbished wood projects, maybe some kind of art, or more? A couple cool things I saw online. If you look at the bottom left, someone used the lens from a camera, hollowed it out, and made an interesting pen holder, which I think would be great decor, especially if you're really big in photography. The bottom, obviously, someone's doing a science experiment, figuring out how to best grow items using recycled water bottles. And then up top, I really like to do some woodworking, so I thought this was really interesting how they reused a pallet, made a nice flowering, not really a pot, flower bed sort of an item. So please, if you'd like, please pause this video right now and create another section on your paper for you to write about what your objects, your 3 objects, how they can be reused. Now there are 2 more aspects to this activity for us to go over. The 7th one right here, it might actually be the most difficult, but due to the fact that we're all college level students, hopefully it won't be too difficult for us to figure it out. But I want you to look at all 3 of your items, and I want you to figure out what type of energy may have been used in creating your item. Oftentimes the location where it's made, the company information, it's sometimes advertised on the item itself. If you have a notebook, for example, sometimes you can buy ones that say right on the front page of the notebook is made out of recycled material. This, like I said, is probably going to be the most difficult part of this subject matter, but I do encourage you to try and figure out what energy may have been used in creating it. To go back on the steel example from about 2 minutes ago, you might be able to figure out, hey, this could have been made by coal, or maybe the factory is powered by natural gas. So good luck on this one. Please do your best, and I encourage you guys to pause the video real quick so that you can use some deductive reasoning, maybe some critical thinking, and try and figure out just how it might have been made. Once again, to help you out a little bit, if the company that made your item is by Niagara Falls, New York, you might be able to figure out if there was hydroelectricity used or involved in the company that created your object. Good luck, and hope you guys can find some good information. And for the final aspect of this activity, I would like you all to look into what happens to each of your items when you no longer use them anymore. If you throw them away, what happens to them? Another way to rephrase this question is, how long does it take to decompose? For those of you who may not be very familiar with the term, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, decompose means to separate into constituent parts or elements or into simpler compounds. So, according to the Peace Corps, to a curriculum from the Peace Corps, I've listed out a number of different items and how long it takes for each of them to decompose. I've included paper towel, orange, cotton cloth, and a few others. Please keep in mind that in terms of the glass bottle, no one's lived for 1,000,000 years to verify if that's how long it indeed takes to decompose. This is a warning directly from the Peace Corps curriculum, and so please pause this activity. This is the final time we're going to need to pause this, so that you can look into how long it takes for your object to decompose. And now to just do a quick wrap-up discussion. Today we've gone over what renewable and non-renewable resource energy is and resources. Hopefully this was a quick review, being that most, if not all of us, are in a biologically related curriculum. Hopefully you have a pretty good understanding of your ecological footprint, as well as all the items that we went over today. We've discussed what happens before, during, and after the creation of your object. We've gone over the resources that went into making your object, as well as what comprises your object. We've gone over the 3 R's, the reduce, reuse, recycle mantra. And we've also gone over what can happen to your item after you're done initially using it. Can you reuse it? Or when you throw it away, how long will it take to decompose? Hope you guys enjoyed this activity. Hope you guys learned a little bit. And I look forward to doing everyone else's activities, guys. Good luck for the rest of the semester.